Hi, welcome back to Tom's Life. Today's Sunday special is ham, potato and peas soup. So the ingredients you need is 8 potatoes, 1 Gammon joint non-smoked, garden peas, 1 onion, celery, peas and salt and ground black pepper. So first step, we're going to switch on our hob. You want to set it to high. You want that to preheat while you prep all your ingredients. So next step, we're going to prep our vegetables. You're going to get 3 pieces of celery. You first want to trim your ends. And then you just want to chop it into pieces. Always remember to move your fingers out the way. And then you've got some hot water here. You're carefully going to place them in. And you'll keep doing all your celery. And this will be for your broth and your stock for your soup. So you just keep trimming them and then chopping them into pieces. So next step, we're going to prep the onion. You first want to chop your ends off. I like to flatten it so it's more easy to chop. Then you're going to chop it down the middle. Then you're going to trim your other ends and you want to peel 2 layers of skin off. And then you just want to chop these into chunks because you're going to blitz this at the end so it doesn't have to be small pieces. Then you chop it down the middle and then you're just chopping it into pieces. Then you're also going to place that in your pan with your celery. And then you'll keep doing all your onion. Next you want to add in a little bit of seasoning to your pan, starting off with ground black pepper. And a little bit of salt. Then you're just going to give that a little bit of a stir. Then you're going to get your Gammon joint. You're going to place it in. And you're just going to coat it with the water. If you need to add more water once it's starting to cook, you can do that. Then you're going to get your lid and place it on. And now you're going to place it on the hob. And you want that to cook for 30 minutes while you prep your potatoes. So while your pan is and your meat is simmering, you want to peel your potatoes using a peeler, going up and down and turning it around. If any skin gets stuck in the blade, you give it a little tap on your chopping board. Then you'll finally dice these into little pieces. You'll need 8 potatoes. So next step, after you've peeled all your potatoes, you first want to chop them down the middle and then chop them in half. And then you just want to chop them into 3 medium-sized pieces. So you keep chopping them like that. I'll show you again. So you first chop it down the middle, then in half, and then into 3 pieces. And then once you have prepped all your potatoes, you're going to place them in a little mixing bowl. So you chop it down the middle, into 3. Then you get your bowl, you place them all in, and you'll finish off prepping all your potatoes. So we have trimmed our fat off our ham. Now you want to chop it down the middle. So you flatten it. And then what you want to do is you want to slice it. Into 4. Turn it around and finally dice it into little pieces. It might be a little bit warm, so just be careful. Then you're going to place all your ham back in the pan. And then you do the same with your other half. Now you want to place in all your potatoes. And you want to add in half a pack of peas. Then you want to give this all a good stir. You might need to add a little bit more water. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the lid on. And you want this to cook for another 10 to 15 minutes. And then you'll blitz this into a nice smooth texture. Now you're going to place it back on the hob. And you want that to cook for another 10 to 15 minutes till your potatoes go nice and soft. So this is how you make my ham, potato and pea soup. I hope you like this recipe. Don't forget to hit the like button, share and subscribe, and thank you.